Jack, a 2-0 win that puts you 5 points clear of Dundee United heading into 2018. How pleasing was the performance tonight?
Well, I think second half performance was more like us. I think first half we weren't quite at our best, but we were resilient enough to make sure we came in at half time still well in the game. I think Craig deserves enormous credit for that because it's a brilliant save at a really important time. But the message at half time was really that just to have that increased belief in why we're in the position we're in. And the players took that on board, and I thought second half they were much more like the team that has produced so many good performances in this stadium over the last calendar year.
The penalty happened so early in the game that you almost sort of forget about it. What was your view on the decision? I couldn't see it from where I was, but sort of some of the people that seen the incident on TV said it was maybe a bit soft.
Yeah, I mean the view being the kind of probably operative word for me as well, because I couldn't see from my position, couldn't see two bodies. I usually just go in the reaction of my players, and there wasn't too many protests, but thankfully it didn't have an impact in the game in terms of them not being able to take the score from it. So as I said, I might look at it later, but you know, once a decision's made anyway, you pretty much got to deal with it. So as I mentioned in the first answer, it's a brilliant save from Craig at an important time, because I thought United had started the game better at that period.
And it was a nice moment for Sammy. Obviously he's come in and he's done really well since he's been in here. It's another clean sheet for him as well.
Yeah, I would say that because we're such a potent threat in attacking areas and we do score a lot of goals, that sometimes the defensive contribution gets overlooked, and particularly Craig's contribution to the club since he came back. I think he's been terrific this season. He's a big character within the changing room. He demands of the players, but he's been there, he has experience, and he's won something at this club as well, and he wants to win something else. So I don't think people should underestimate his passion for the club as well, and he takes enormous enjoyment from winning games here, but particularly from tonight, from playing his part again. So I'm delighted for him in this whole defensive unit.
How important do you think it is to have somebody of Craig's experience at the back? I know last season there was a wee bit of issues in terms of when you first came in, you weren't really sure who to go with. Billy O'Brien came in, a bit of a young player, but having somebody with Sammy's experience who's been there over the course and done it.
It is an important part of the game, because from those three positions, if you like, goalkeeper and two central defenders are the ones that you probably put more emphasis on to communicate and organise, especially on your shape and recovery when you're going forward. And they're the ones that more often than not are facing the play and can see what's happening in front of them. So to have, you know, Craig is vocal by nature as a person, and he carries that onto the pitch with him. So his contribution, as I mentioned, has been terrific. It's not always the case he's just making saves that contribution is there. His all-round contribution to the football club, at training every day, on a match day, in terms of how he communicates and organises, is a big part of success.
Lewis Morgan with 2 goals tonight. How pleased have you been with the professionalism he showed, especially as such a young player with all the speculation he's had to deal with this season?
Yeah, that's the one thing that he'll take credit for, but also will stand him in really good stead for his progression in his career. He's dealt with the speculation, he's dealt with pressure of producing performances for us regularly, and tonight I knew that the stage would suit him. He thrives on it. Ironically, I thought first half he maybe tried to force things a little bit because he was so desperate to make a good impression, and that's another learning experience for him. But as the game stretches and players start to fatigue, his impact in the game becomes greater, because they're not able to get close enough to him to block shots or stop crosses or make tackles. And his 2 finishes in the second half are just very much reflective of the quality he has. As a manager, I'm lucky to have a match winners in my team. I've got more than one of them. He's one of them. Delighted for him tonight. The players are delighted for him, and another nice night for him. He's going to have a lot of them in his career, but another one for this stadium, which I know he enjoys.
Danny Mullen started the game with Gavin Riley out. I don't believe it's anything serious with Gavin, but how pleased were you with Danny's game time, especially given the fact that he's not had a lot over the last wee while?
Yeah, Gavin was feeling ill towards the end of training yesterday, and he deteriorated overnight, so it meant he couldn't play. Spoke to Danny at lunchtime, so he was aware he was coming in for Gavin, because all preparations had been done. What I would say about Danny was that he's not started the game since the beginning of November. It was testament to his desire and character that he got through nearly the whole game, because after an hour I thought he was almost starting to go, and he found a second wind. His contribution in the second half to us playing, and I think people have to understand as well, we asked our forward players to shape up in a particular way when United had the ball, and that meant doing a lot of unselfish work, but believing that we would turn over the ball, and they did that brilliantly. And then they have to find the energy to go and do things in an attacking sense. So he's a good player. Danny is a good player. I'm lucky that the board have supported me in bringing him to the club. He'll make a big contribution over the second half of the season, there's no doubt about that.
You said Gavin was ill. does that rule him out of Tuesday's derby, or is he maybe still win with a shout there?
No, I think we'll I'll speak to him. I spoke to him today because he was devastated at missing the game, because he's individually made a big contribution and he was desperate to play in it. Well, I'll speak to him tomorrow. We'll let him have a rest for a couple of days and then we'll assess it from there and see how he is. I would be hopeful that he would at least be around the squad. How we utilise him within that will depend on how he is health-wise, but fingers crossed he'll at least be available within the matchday squad.
Like I mentioned, it is, you go again on Tuesday against Morton and Derby. How nice is it to have these games and this sort of period coming up thick and fast, and big games at that?
Yeah, it's challenging because we put a lot into tonight, and emotionally it takes a lot of the players, and this league, I would say often enough, is so demanding and it doesn't get any easier. Morton away is one of the toughest games in the division, full stop, without the added fact it's a derby and everything that goes alongside that. So the players will enjoy tonight. We'll rest properly over the next couple of days, and we'll do a little bit of preparation Monday, and then we'll find the energy and desire to go again, because when you're top of the league you can find that a little bit easier. So the players will get that, and we'll look forward to it. It's another brilliant game for the club. Tonight was a terrific occasion for the club, and Tuesday will be the same. Nearly
5,000 supporters here, and I know we talk about them often enough, but how nice was the moment that you and the team had at the end of the match, going round the pitch and getting to sort of take the applause?
Yeah, I think it's a really fitting way for us to end this calendar year, in this stadium in particular, because we've had a lot of really good days here in the past 12 months, and that relationship between the players and the club and supporters has grown again, and it's strengthened, and it's probably as healthy as it's been in a long time. And I've said that to the kind of national press. What we do at the end of the game isn't us believing that we've achieved anything, isn't a celebration of anything. It's a gratitude for the supporters, because they've been outstanding, and I took enormous pride in standing out there tonight and looking at the ground being as full as it was, because I was lucky enough to play here in the first game when there was a full house, and although we enjoyed victories over the Old Firm at times here and we had big games, probably a long time since I've seen it as busy as that as well. So delighted that we could repay them for that support with the result, for first and foremost, the performance second half, and I hope they keep coming back is the biggest thing as well. So yeah, delighted for them as well.
And just to finish, I think the best way to reflect on 2017 as a whole would be to look at the fact when you came into 2017, it was off the back of a 1-1 draw here with Morton, which left you 6 points adrift at the bottom of the league. You're going into 2018 5 points clear at the top. That shows the real turnaround this year.
Brilliant, Jimbo. I'm not going to add anything to that. Cheers, Jimbo.
Perfect.